It's another episode of Deep Conversations with KK on Akosia Ann, AKOSUAH, ANN. Subscribe na comment section whenever comment guasie efamaye like na fi share esmo obi enyabi. Okay. Edi enne ye ba be hwe bibi e friend say fair use. On the previous episode we mentioned about fair use. But on the previous episode, you copyright notice once a copyright infringement. But today we are going to look at fair use. Fair use. So Copyright Act 2005, Act 690, Section 57, and a fair use once that is in the Ghana's copyright laws. Section 57 of the Copyright Act 2005 Act 690 Section 57 Ekanwasem. Yekase fair use fair use there. Fair use and it say any legal instructions kwaya yefa so ye bibi ana say one kwan de instructions work copyright laws mu ma wo kwan say obetimi use obi work, whether it is artistry, whether it is literary work, whether it is music, film, textbook, factual work, that is news articles. Without say obeti permission free nipa na say obese kwan ewe nipa no. Enti fair use ni ma ho kwan say utimi fo obi ade use abra on say nipa ne kwan. Nemom fair use no ye wo purpose, ye wo die nti a ye ma kwan ema yetimi use obi ade anase saa kwanya no wo saa fair use no enwo kwanya no ye hwe ne ma ema obi etimi efa obi work use. First one no research. So we are a movie for development, and as we are a movie bibiaba new idea, methods of doing things biaba, and unya say bia we use a part of somebody's work to what? To assist you in whatever you are doing. You are permitted to what? Use the work or the copyrighted material, and that is what we term as what fair use. And to be me but there is nothing like theft or copyright infringement here, because and then we also have criticism and commentary. We said criticism and commentary. Criticism normally over as in pointing the flaws, something like what Kojo Sheldon and the headless YouTuber they point out the flaws in the copyright material, whether it is a song, whether it is a movie, it's a film, it's an artistry, a factual work, that is a news article or a textbook. They point out the flaws in the work. But commentary, personal feelings, the way anyone will see Najin share at the corner of Jabano, said you no ankasa will see mono efa. Then Nipano action Eddie found. And all a commentary and what? Criticism. And then you will be a friend the news reporting. News reporting who said normally social news ayana omuta short clips of footages. And on any say ebia accident be SEO baby, and I can want them. They are reporting it, but they need the footage to show you. Obi ne try, obi ne year footage, It won't hear bia because what they reporting into. Utimi efa footage AUC. But send your report nowadays, Nasa would the year before beboa one kasa. And no, a mamma more quine so betting issue. Any panity me at the copyright show. But say a reporting nowadays, a mamma more quine about me, efa any clip of a footage to do the reporting. And then you bet me so ashe a teaching and scholarship. Normally, once I will call in classroom, especially our universities, you see these things. I remember University of Ghana, Legon. One time they used a Lyrical Joe, a verse in Lyrical Joe's song or rap, and a lecture. And then same thing also happened at KUST with Kofi Kinata's verse. Kofi Kinata's verse, a verse of Kofi Kinata's song, and a lecture. They learned something about it. Yeah, and who say for educational purposes, for research purposes, for development purposes, what they develop be bringing out ideas, new methods of doing things. So the copyright laws do not hold you. They take it as what? A fair use. Other than that, and yes sir, and money a day, and to me and no, and then also the last one Rebecca was a parody. Parody, say because a parody is a creative way of what mimicking or imitating something. Into who should be now why for. And I said there is an original work view original work, you know. It be a me and a metronome. It's who having you know how to fulfill, but oh to know. Oh dear oh man I yes say in such a way say who says maybe dear no nato, but oh dear no oh dear yes I tree and it's a what is serious audience afternoon at I say maybe it is a comic. Comic or let's say comedy. You understand? That is what parody. Parody is somehow similar to satire. SATIRE, satire. Similar to parody, but there is a thin line between them. Rebecca and Wasem. Now, because a parody, American Wasem. Example can be Calibos. Well, we share Calibos, a comedy. No one say he actually takes life happenings and as our cultural institutions or making in our daily lives, but in a humorous way, as I say, or comic way. And in our daily life, our culture, the way we see things, our perspectives, but or in a way say, or a very humorous, and I say a comedy, yes, that is what parody. Now, you will need a court to share, and some a court I consider say this work is what is fair use, and I say fair use. Court I consider never be way, and some a court make I say work out fire no, and I say I didn't why fair use no. Court I consider never back whom you be, and some I can say this is what fair use. The first one is what? Purpose and character of the use. The kind of purpose and character of the use. Is the use commercial or non-commercial? At the corner of fire, no. Copyrighted material now fire, no. Now, dear, no. The Odi Bano, a commercial, and I say a non-commercial. I guess a commercial, and I say, oh, Benya, Infasobi, and I say, Sikabia free so, and I say, yes, Caribbean free so. Does it add any value to the original work? And I say, yeah, does it add any value to the original work? Or is it for educational purposes? Yes, any publishing idea, and I say, yeah, entertaining nipa, and I say, Sikana all day pay free so dear, and no court and permit you to do that. But aside that, you are good to go. Now, second one, Rebecca was the nature of the copyrighted work. It's copyrighted work, no material now fire, no. A creative work. Creative work, maybe it is a movie, and I say a novel. A factual work. Factual work, maybe it is a textbook, and I say news article. And the court never shares animal winner. And then number 3, no. Amount and substantiality of the portion used. Work now fire, no. Copyrighted material now fire. Saying it, ne tinting anasa ne kesi ACTA. Ebia just a 30 seconds video. Maybe just a 10 seconds sound in and I say element of sound in a song. So they will look at the weight, so that I say the magnitude of whatever you took from the copyrighted material. And I say so, and I say to say, they look at all those things. Is it significant to the overall work? Does it add value to the overall work? If it doesn't add any value to the overall work, then it means insignificant. And then the fourth one, effect of the use on the market for the original work. Work now, whatever out now. The effect on the original work on the market, and it is saying, who say, Obi to me, dear Numba, no be so about the same song. Afe, or then in the end of Babano, na ye jai original song in it, na ye the cover song, and I said the remix, no. Oh, yes, sir, Nippon bit much of copyright because what my made the original work. That is something that court a bit more infringing. But then if it doesn't have any significance on the market, say Susansobia or market in this so now say they need to city a cost you don't have any problem with what the court. You can go ahead to take a part of it to do what you want to do. But aside that, there, say a hard original work cannot lose any value on the market, and on the court entry and malcra. Yen fair use, I would be a bit more. Examples of fair use, a bit quoting a book in a review or critic, quoting a book in a review or a critic. I will mention somebody like the legendary Amata Edu, and I say Kofi Anido. It's somebody like Amata Edua. On one casa, what no ota kuti, on one casani book or show changes, a love story. Ota mention to talk about gender, to talk about identity, to talk about societal expectations. And near my the Ghanaian community or the Ghanaian society, every free nipa and war within the society. It's what I could see on one Cassani book and the Cassani Manuasem. And I will show you to say Kofi Anido, or also usually he's a poet and an academic or academician. So also what I use he mostly talks about literature. And he what I use quotes from other people's books. Na or the akasa fa literary works so the first one quoting a book for review or critic, and then the second one using a song in a parody or satire. In the satire no na me mention me kan once no satire is artistic genre that uses irony to expose vices and abuses. And usually it mocks societal norms and then politicians in an insightful and humorous way. And Osha Satana Quense, and you may be a cost or mine more enquiry. Obit me fire and you know the animal act and wasem. Obit me born your mind, they can't be a enquiry. And once a movie to be born, you know, they are both politicians, be the no abonachi. And I said, be cause of them, Kuya, or beat me a movie, be no, they are come once and to say, movie, enter, Kobirana, and the bar out. As it, maybe for the title, but yeah, and check Kobirana, and the movie, be bar out. And I will share Obi to say, catch you, come here, piano, now is Nana, a dear more do Timothy. He's the chief of Lake Bosomche, or the Bencommune of Lake Bosomche, yeah. So, we are catching Kwame piano or the buy in, is it 2016? Obinka said 24th Chrome. In the Conforce size, I know not. After your motor is said, honorable. At first, I buy and say, one may have you most of visa. School diner boo. A few young Toma on Bibisa. I forgot the song, but I think say making when you America. So that is that. People use some things to what talk about things that is happening within the society. They expose things. Now let me remind you something. Adebako 2017, Peter Sodofia, any Lauren Addy, release produce a movie called Keteke. Keteke is a one share Konekoshe. So Keteke feature Clemento Suarez, Ajeti Anan, Lydia Forsen. So this movie was talking about how transportation is very, very difficult in Ghana. We say I want to more than car some then basically and society a car was some any transportation won't some pa they used the Keteke, which is the train, to depict how transportation is very difficult in Ghana. In Tomo de can was some near my cost enquino or mutimi parody and as a satan or they can was some exposing yema enqui and as a yema or mindful yet I say. And then showing a clip from a movie in a classroom for educational purposes. As I mentioned earlier, who say normally who in classrooms yet ebia is yadi na ye movie be and I see a part of a video edia chair and more friend baby edia show my dear. Then you know idea court amount coins or bit my day. You see that one is what is fair use. You have no problem. And on a court amount coin. So now there are important notes that we have to take particular notice. I say one, fair use is not a blanket exception. Fair use is not a blanket exception. Before I get my claim a fair use, as I say, who say, at the corner who and one analyze it. Now who say meet every legal criteria. What I say, the fact say you see fair use I want interest say phobia there now is because of fair use there be every material there is analyzed individually whether it is meeting the legal criteria. Into who will be worker. Don't think because of fair use into no finance. No, you have to check whether it meets the legal criteria. And halfway. Second one is say fair use does not replace obtaining permission. The fact say fair use I want interest say now say for will be idea, for will be worker and he say say fine. You have to ask permission. I mean that is the best way. Over say kwan free the pakron will say may foul work, may foul you mean a cover of it, may foul you mean a remix it. Me you movie now may the be can want change characters. I mean you have to ask permission. That is the nice way. Yet yesterday I mentioned of attribution. That is the best way of doing things. Third one, fair use. Guidelines vary from country to country. It varies across countries. Into your fair use rights in Ghana is different from Nigeria. Nigeria is different from Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire is different from Niger. Country bear in the fair use guidelines. Most countries will be, but country bear any guidelines already or use country bear the guidelines are or use. So when you come to Ghana, the fair use copyrights and I say fair use is recognized in our Copyright Act 2005, Act 690, Section 57 or Section 57, as I mentioned earlier. Copyright Act 2005, Act 690, Section 57. In the actual overview, so Section 57 of Act provided for fair dealing I include 1. Research and private study. Ghana, ye fair use no, and my coin say, oh, yeah, research, and answer, oh, yeah, private study be, oh, yeah, research, I'll get me for be work. Now, where you sue. And I said, yeah, oh, yeah, criticism, and I said review. In the home, yeah, music review, movie reviews, no, what me for be work. Now, I day, where you see, because a random coin. Reporting and current events. I mentioned earlier of news reporting, educational purposes, medical can want them say, what is there, what they try there, for educational purposes, and run here, and one will find to bet me a use. There were permitted acts and limitations. And your man, I cast your one more coin in and yet a coin any was a you will never bet me. 1. You can only make a single copy of a copyright work. For research and I say via commentary, you can only make one copy. So if it is a song, you can make one copy, just one copy. If it is a movie, you can just make one copy. But if it is more than that, then it is not fair use. So many bro back and yet fair use view. A faina theft album, another plagiarism album. But once it is just a copy, then it is what? Fair use. And what the ATI say, a fair use. And I fake quotations. Using quotations from copyrights. Copyright work for review. Like I mentioned, Ama Ata Edu, sorry. And then Kofi Anidoho. Now limitations I want to say commercial use. Say why can I use it if it is for commercial user? And Mama won't find. Say oh the air pesca the Mama won't find so before we work. Now the air pesca. And I say excessive use. If the are for be work. Now the are show them. They be now for a portion of obi video. It be a portion of obi song, an element in somebody's song. Now the are show them. No. Excessive use. And Mama won't find. Where's a man new everything? Anybody. So we have to consider all these things. And it is very good, say, copyright infringement, copyright notice, fair use, meaning I was say, now where about. Within the creative space, you have to know what the pros and the cons. Know whatever that protects your copyrighted materials or what protects your crafts. As I say, yes, yeah, you have to find time for yourself if you are within the creative space. Not only the creative space, entrepreneurs, businessmen, you have to know what is a trademark. You have to know what is a trade secret. I said, a patent. You have to know all these things. And yes, sir.